Report. In today's video, we will be focusing on Robotyne specifically. There is news coming out from Robotyne, not much news coming out anywhere else as of yet. Again, it is very early today, and it's August 22nd, so it's very early, so news isn't coming out about all the fronts, but there is news about Robotyne. So first off, in a video I made a few days back, there was this tank battle that took place. I believe it was around Robotyne. Either that or China, but I'm pretty sure it was around Robotyne, where this one Russian tank defeated armor fighting vehicles, and then it proceeded to defeat a Ukrainian tank, a lone Russian tank. Well, Russian military bloggers are claiming that footage is actually from 2022, and it happened somewhere in, I believe it was Kherson, the Kherson Oblast, somewhere here. Okay, not Kherson, probably over here. I don't know, but it happened somewhere over here, and it was from 2022. Now, this is not verified that these Russian military bloggers are right. That's just something I found interesting. Again, moving on to Robotyne, there have been some reports by military bloggers that Russia has abandoned the city. Now, I would not just go throwing hats in the air if you're pro-Ukrainian and say Russia abandoned the city, because these military bloggers, first off, they're not the most reliable. Secondly, you can catch a lot of misinformation reading through daily reports by military bloggers. However, it is important to note that the same thing kind of happened with Regina. There was reports that the Russians had evacuated even before they said, or were beginning the evacuation, and military bloggers were posting about that and before Russia said. However, from what we know right now, there is Ukrainians all around here and here attacking. There's been no really combat footage as of yet that I've found. So that's basically the situation in Robotyne. Like I said, I've said this in previous videos, I believe Robotyne is going to fall before next Sunday, possibly in that time period. At the very least, be in the gray zone before next Sunday. Just seems like everything's pointing to that. However, Ukraine, I believe, did activate their last reserves. I don't know if it was their last reserves for this region or their last reserve for the entirety of the Ukraine, and that is this is going to be like their final push. How much progress they make off this is going to probably be the whole entire progress of their counteroffensive in this area, at least. So the United States has said in I believe it was a leaked document, that Melitopol, Ukraine would not enter Melitopol in this counteroffensive. They said Ukraine would be a couple miles or a few miles outside of the city of Melitopol. Now, this is a long stretch. If you go to Robotyne, you got Tokmak here, and you got Melitopol. This is a pretty long stretch, and just in my opinion, Ukraine making this stretch before the rainy season comes and they must halt their counteroffensive, in my opinion, to say the least, is wishful thinking. So personally, I don't think they're going to be a few miles away from Melitopol. They may take Tokmak, but I don't think they're going to be even close to Melitopol, especially not a few miles away when they must end their counteroffensive. The United States was talking about them moving in, freezing the counteroffensive for winter, and then moving on forward. Yeah, but I think that's pretty wishful thinking. Now, again, I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion on that. Anyway, so Ukraine, and in other news, Ukraine is Denmark has said they will give Ukraine 19 F-16s. So that is something to consider. Ukraine is, or I believe there are Ukrainians in Denmark training currently with the F-16s. So obviously, I don't really believe in wonder weapons, but this will help the Ukrainian counteroffensive for months, and Ukraine's just overall war for weeks, months, and years even to come, because there is going to be a summit, I believe, by NATO officials talking about what went wrong in the counteroffensive. This happens a lot with the United States standard mission. They'll, after a mission, even if it's a very successful one, they'll review what went wrong, what went right, and how they can make it better. So for next time. So this war is, according to some leaked info about the NATO generals, is expected to go all the way up to 2025 and maybe beyond. It's going to be a pretty long war if that is correct. No reports from the Russians in the Sumy region, and no reports yet of the Kupians or anything like that. However, you can expect big news from there coming shortly, and of course, I will report it for you guys. Make sure to like this video, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode.